Welcome back to Potato Script channel. Today we are diving into the world of dynamic drop-down menu. Dynamic drop-down menus are a crucial component of modern web design, allowing users to navigate through complex content with ease. In this tutorial, we are exploring how to create interactive drop-down menu from scratch using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. By the end of this video, you will have all the skills you need to master dynamic drop-down menu and enhance your web project. And what you see over here is the final product that you're going to create by the end of this video. Let's begin by dissecting the HTML structure of our drop-down menu. Our menu is built using unordered list and list item. Each list item represents a menu option, and nested within them are additional unordered lists containing submenu items. This hierarchical structure allows us to create a multi-level drop-down menu with its the span element over here with the ID cater order when class cater down. This element was set as a drop-down trigger and display the text order. A nested unordered list with the class active. This list contains the submenu item that will be displayed when the drop-down trigger is clicked. Next, we will move to the CSS styling. We will start our drop-down menu to make it visually appealing and intuitive for user. We will set the initial display of the submenu item to none to hide them by default, and use CSS pseudo-element with this colon. We are going to use a CSS pseudo-element with this colon before to add a cater icon indicating the drop-down step. And you can see over here the property of the content is set to the value of this n mark followed by 25b6 is a Unicode character code representing a right pointing black arrow. And the color property is set to black, display inclined broad, and margin right set to 6 pixels. We will also add a hover effect and a transition to enhance the user experience. Over here we have this cater down with this column before and the cater out with the column before class. This class rotate the cater icon for the cater down class to point downward, and this class keep the cater icon for the cater out class in its default position. And now we have another two class called the cater 0 degree and the cater 90 degree. Both of them is try to trigger the direction to rotate the direction. I will show you what that means later. Next we have this active and this active class. This class controls the display of the submenu items. The active class set the display to broad, while the deactive class set it to none. Now let's add some interactivity to our drop-down menu using the JavaScript. We will start by adding event listener to the cater icon span with the class cater down and cater out. This event listener will trigger function that toggle the visibility of the submenu items active and disactive. We will walk through each line of JavaScript code step by step to ensure a clear understanding. This line retrieves the HTML element with the ID cater order using document get element by ID. It then attacks the event listener for the click event using an add event listener. When the click event occurs on the element with the ID cater order, follow provided function will execute. Window dot get computer style display the computer style of the submenu item. Dot display access the display property of the computer style, which indicate whether the element is currently visible with this block value or hidden with this num value. If the submenu item is currently hidden, the core set its display style to block to show it. If the submenu is currently visible, the core set this display style to num to hide it. Then the final line is this dot class list dot toggle caret 0 degree. After toggling the display of the submenu item, this line toggle the class caret 0 degree on the element that trigger the click event. This keyword over here refer to the element with the ID caret order over here. That's what triggered the dot click list dot toggle. You will toggle the presence of the class on the element. If the class is present, it removes it. If it is absent, it added it. In this case, it toggle the class caret order, which rotate the caret icon associated with the caret order element. So let's go through this source code and source code over here. I have created two drop-down menu. One is the order and another one is the order 2. And by default, when I load this page, the first order will expand out all, will display out all the submenu, but the second drop-down menu will hide out all the submenu. So you can see that I set this class to active for this first drop-down menu, and for the second drop-down menu, it is an order list class. I set the class to deactive. And as you can see from the CSS property over here, when the class is set to disactive, the display is set to none. This means that we hide the content. And when you set the class to active, the display will set to block. It means we're going to display the content. This is the initial setting. So next one, let's see what happens when we click on this submenu order. And you can see when I click on this submenu, the first submenu element, it will toggle the. You can see this triangle, the position change from 90 degree to 0 degree. When I click again, it becomes 0 degree. And you can see by default is on the 90 degree because we do through the. If we go down to the caret down here, over here, caret down, it by default the first drop down menu, the class at this span element is set to caret down. So if we go over the CSS star over here, the caret down before the angle is 90 degree, so it means by default is pointing down. But for this second span element, the class is set to the caret out, and you can see that the caret out is set to by default is set to 0 degree, so that's why it's pointing right. Next thing that you can see when I click on this first drop down menu, it will toggle to 0 degree. Why? If we look over this JavaScript code over here, the first event element, the caret output is for the caret order of this first sub for this first drop down menu, and the below one, this one is for the caret order 2. This caret order 2 is for this menu, the drop down menu 2 over here. So let's just focus on the first event listener function over the click function over here. We have assigned this click function to this caret order object. When you click on this object, the class list dot toggle will toggle this caret 0 degree. Just now I had explained that the value inside this toggle over here. When if we click on this object, initially if it's it don't have this Caret 0 degree, it will add this Caret 0 degree class into it. Let me show you let's inspect this object over here, the actual object. You can click on this icon and point to this object over here. It will bring you to the actual HTML code over here. As you see, by default, you only had this Caret down, and you can see when I click on this order over here, it will going to add this Caret 0 degree, and I click again, it will remove out this Caret 0 degree. That's the meaning of this class toggle. It means you click on it, if the class is existing, it will going to remove it. If it's not existing, it's going to add the class into the element. So it's the same thing for the Caret order 2. By default, it don't have this 90 degree. So then let's see if now I click on it, and you can see the Caret 90 degree class is added into it. So the arrow is going to pointing down. So I hope you understand this basic concept. Congratulations, you have mastered the art of creating dynamic drop-down menu from scratch. You have covered everything from HTML structure, and on this HTML structure, this is very simple. You have this first unordered list, and followed by the list option, and then followed by another unordered list to hold the submenu content. We have covered everything from the HTML structure to CSS styling to JavaScript interactivity, giving you a solid foundation to build upon. I will describe the key concept we have learned and encourage viewers to continue exploring and experimenting with dynamic drop-down menu in their web project. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and look forward to see what you create. And if you find this helpful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe my channel. I have included this GitHub link below this video description to the source code of this GitHub, so you can download this source code from my GitHub account with the link below. So stay tuned for my next video, where I will create another exciting topic in the web development. Until next time, happy coding. Bye.